All right, in the bottom right corner of the map on Newkirk Precinct, we have from Team EG, the IPL 4 champion. It is aLive.
Let's make some boxes for celebration.
Or for moving day.
And down in the bottom left-hand corner, from Team Liquid, who trained with aLive for their joint team in SPL, it is none other than Liquid's TaeJa.
TaeJa fighting.
TaeJa fighting. Very popular, very well-known player.
John, can you do me a favor real quick? Can you press Control-0 and Shift-0? Very nice.
Thank you.
There we go. And now everything's been set. Ready to go.
You know, in this spot, we saw the very fast Banshee play from aLive when he was up against a Muslim. I definitely think that we're going to be seeing that yet again.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's a very safe way to open overall. Banshee just gives you a lot of options, even to defend as well. Some people play really aggressive early on, maybe like a proxy starport.
Well, it looks like it's going to... Ooh. Oh, is aLive... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. aLive's going Command Center first. What do you think about that mind games, Frodan?
We haven't seen Command Center first in a long time. It's gutsy. This is, I mean, I really feel like with TaeJa style, who likes to play greedy as well, normally in TVT, TaeJa's one of those first players that like going 3 Command Center when the opponents were still doing 1-base pushes. But I feel like if this plays straight into TaeJa's likelihood, I don't even know, because TaeJa's been really good with Banshee harasses in the past.
We do see the fairly late refinery from TaeJa, which would imply that he is going to be going for some sort of fast factory with Command Center. So I would honestly expect that aLive has all the perfect preparations against exactly this sort of thing. I mean, you don't go Command Center first if you lose to one of the most common builds in the matchup.
We have seen it too, because TaeJa has just straight up killed people with just a single Banshee as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Played really greedy as well.
So TaeJa gets the scout off. Kind of rare to actually see scouts at all in any matchup, weirdly. TaeJa's actually going to be sending out Marine #1, it looks like, to do a little poke and prod and pressure. And but dual barracks as a response from aLive, which is so uncommon. We see almost everyone sticking with a single barracks in this matchup almost all the way up.
Oh, and interestingly enough as well, TaeJa even goes for a reactor on his barracks instead of using the first 100 gas for a factory. What do you think about that, Sean?
Well, it looks like he's just claiming, I want to go for the fast Command Center, I'll get my factory later, I want to win on an economic footing, rather than trying to rush in there and do a whole bunch of damage early. But you have to be quite careful as TaeJa, because, I mean, what's your edge? You're already behind on economy, you're already not going for the tech play. It looks like TaeJa's going to win this by killing this SCV.
Every little bit helps. aLive not able to get the SCV out. And TaeJa, well, I guess this is his base now until otherwise further notice.
Looks like he's moving up the ramp, immediately trying to do some... Ooh, very nice micro by both players. And you heard my delight as my voice went up a full octave. And in the meantime, look at this. aLive harassing TaeJa's constructing SCVs down to red health.
This is already kind of heating up. Both players trying to be aggressive as much as possible early on. I like it. In the end, aLive also gets a decent scout, sees a quick Command Center, and says, well, he can't be punishing me that hard as well.
This is a cool opening from aLive. I like this. Double barracks into double gas. Permits you to go straight for the factory. You don't really need tons of Marines in the early game in the way that you would, say, in a Terran versus Protoss. So players do have a tendency to delay that third barracks for quite some time. aLive could be a total nutcase and transition into mech, but if he did that, not only would it likely perform poorly, but it would also look like he was performing poorly.
I feel exactly what you're saying, Sean. And it is Newkirk, too, a map where if you can draw it out, mech could be good because you can have that split map tendency.
Yeah.
We've seen the longest games on Newkirk, but I don't know if that's actually would be the best case scenario.
Now this is interesting. There's the scan going down. We see reactor and tech lab planted, and of course we'll also see a very, very early factory, very, very early upgrades from aLive. But the double Hellion moving out as well for TaeJa.
Yeah, he did lose one of them because he ran into that big wall of Marines. So overall, TaeJa still has to be really cautious. aLive being so rambunctious with his group, and he also has an SCV in the top.
Oh my God, this sneaky man. Oh, I totally know what he's gonna do. Check this out. It's Command Center.
So what do you think about this, Sean? A hidden expansion on Newkirk. Fast third at 7 minutes into the game in TVT.
Jeez. Well, looks like aLive is essentially claiming I don't think I can go toe-to-toe against TaeJa in a straight-up macro fight. I want to try to win with the cheese.
He cheesed twice, right? Command center first, basically.
Back to back.
And now he's going to go for a ninja third base. TaeJa's going to try to elevator 3 Hellions into the main base of aLive. And aLive is going to pull his Marines, but this is going to be enough to hold it off.
This is a very smart play from TaeJa, trying to get a little bit of an advantage against a player who looks like he won't have a lot of versatility. No stim, no combat shield. Oh, those Marines, they were lining up, Frodan, and now we're starting to see TaeJa just pick away at aLive. In fact, in the workers killed, we see it was 7 total in the unit count. 37 to 32. Kind of surprised to see TaeJa not have that much of a lead, but this is a mass add-on phase for TaeJa.
Yeah, he's really trying to get his production up, and then eventually he can get his upgrades as well. And it'll continue just to push out a lot of production. But aLive, he's just sitting so nice, and that's exactly what he wants. Because his third base, as soon as the third orbital command, he's going to have such a big economic advantage.
The third is done, Dr. Dan. Scan from aLive reveals that TaeJa is way far down the tech route.
Ooh, wait, I think the medevac see the SCV is leaving.
Oh, no. Oh, a disaster. It looks like TaeJa is actually doing a little bit of scouting with this medevac. Oh, he's got to know what's up.
Did he not pay attention to it, though, on the minimap?
He's not. He needs to go all the way. He needs to go all the way. This is one of the reasons why hidden expanding is less popular the higher you get up.
Just because of the movement around the map.
So easy for a good player to just spot it and shut it down. A lot of good players are now just sending out scouts quite swiftly.
I think it's just the evolution of play overall. It's just, people are just so good at StarCraft nowadays, Sean.
Dude, people get StarCraft, Frodan.
Even when I queue up on a ladder game on my Smurf account.
Oh my God! Spots it, lifts. Is gonna have to run. This is a disaster for aLive.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, he's sending out some Marines to try to see if he can intercept it. Maybe he could save the command center still.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, he might be able to save it, but I mean, think about all the stuff that aLive has slowed down to be able to do this. And there's the stim. He's gonna try to target fire the medevac. He will not be able quite to pick it off, but I mean, aLive sacrificed tech, he sacrificed upgrades, so much to get that command center out early, and now it's burning and floating around in nowhere land. So I would call that a fairly unfortunate opening for him.
Yeah, and I think TaeJa's done really well to also continue to pick away at aLive, and despite him trying to get ahead and establish his economy, still has managed to be able to maintain a pretty sizable amount of lead with through small forms of aggression. I like it a lot.
There's aLive now retaking his expansion. At his third. Pretty common setup right now. 1-1 upgrades nearing completion for TaeJa, but wait. There's the second engineering bay right now. 1-0 is all that's out for aLive. I mean, aLive is going for hyper late game.
Yeah, just trying to get up his production. You can see that he is still only on one upgrade on engineering bay because his armory is a little bit late. TaeJa has caught up in that regards as well. aLive started his upgrades earlier too, so he was playing greedy in that respect. And now TaeJa's the one ahead. And just like you were pointing out, Sean, I think TaeJa's firing all fronts. There's nothing really that's going well for aLive other than his third has landed a little bit earlier. And he's been on triple orbital for a while.
Yeah, I mean, this is a nice position to be in for TaeJa. He has all the leads that he could ever possibly need. And it technically does have a lead in economy. Even though he got the sort of delayed third, he's been doing some considerable damage.
And now aLive will move out. And again, I just like how TaeJa's spreading his Marines around the map. You were pointing it out earlier, Sean. And now TaeJa is just trying to spot any kind of movement. He sees aLive's double drop potential. And he's going to even put up a sensor tower earlier. Another good mark that TaeJa is just covering all of his fronts.
Oh, yeah. I mean, TaeJa just has, like, great vision control. I mean, there's no watchtowers on this version of Newkirk Precinct. There used to be those ones that just kind of hung out in center. aLive's now double gassing in his in his third base. Same with TaeJa. And we're getting that juicy Marine tank yet again. Marine tank, I think, really the only way to play on this map. Whoa! aLive! This is a move that you can only do if you are spectacular at watching your minimap. Just having 4 Marines float in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, sure, I'll be able to click their stim, target fire, and repel the drop on a moment's notice.
Well, I'll be able to macro up and defend my third base, which he has properly positioned his siege tanks and getting his Marines into a nice spot. So yeah, I think aLive's playing pretty well, Sean. in my opinion.
Both players are playing just sensational. I mean, aLive took a lot of risks, but I'll be honest. I have tried a couple times in my my career as a dude who logs in and ladders. I've tried to hide expansions, and when they spot it, I'm like, all right, good game. You know, I lose so quickly thereafter. But we see aLive just calmly pulls it back and makes it look like it was a normal play. And there it looks like aLive is now trying to harass that backside, doing some great work, forcing TaeJa to pull some units back. Ooh, look at that pickup timing, only losing a single Marine.
Very nicely done, and again, it's just kind of prodding and poking each other, see what they can mass up. But now TaeJa, look at the upgrades. We'll have 2, 2, and +1 finished way before aLive will have all 3 of his done as well. So he has this small little window, and you might think that that +1 armor advantage won't be that big of a difference, but it really is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the amount of hits it will take.
Hello. Siege tank. Nothing to see here.
Uh-oh. This is the scary part. TaeJa is going to be moving up onto this high ground ridge. aLive is trying to dart forward and pull back. Somehow aLive has taken the supply lead, and it is all macro base. 84, 87 Marines out, 68 SCVs. I mean, getting more than 66 in this matchup is becoming increasingly uncommon because players know how much of an edge they can get if they get that Marine lead.
Do you see this Doom drop, Sean, in the south? He has
Uh-oh.
almost 9 medevacs fully loaded, and he has 1 destination, and that is the base of aLive here in the bottom right corner.
aLive is darting on in. He's going to try to target fire the medevacs. It doesn't matter. Everything unloads, and suddenly TaeJa's entire army, 177 supply of it, up in the main base. What do you do here as aLive? You have to engage 4 tanks. Oh my god, TaeJa is just slaughtering aLive. A single Doom drop. GG.